When you walk down the school hallway, what do you see? You'll probably say you don't notice anything quite strange or weird or eye-catching. After all, it's just a hallway, right? No, stick your head up, look right into the ceiling. Now, do you notice anything? If you look closer into the ceiling, you'll find out that the ceiling has a series of light bulbs that light up your way across the hallway. Without the ceiling lighting, you'll see no further than your nose and stumble over your own foot or bump into a random classroom door. The tremendous benefit the lighting brings us is so blinding that it blinds us and makes us not notice what we ought to notice. In some part of the school, the light is on all day, every day, all time, anytime. For other parts, it's not all day long, but the light is on for most of the time. When a 100-watt light bulb is on for 10 hours, that uses up about 1,000 watt-hours of electricity, which is equivalent to 1 kilowatt-hour. Also, one incandescent light bulb can cost more than $100 per year in wasted energy, and the thing about our school is that we own tons of these light bulbs. Moreover, those light bulbs are left on not just for 1 hour or 10 hours, but for a longer period of time. How terrible is this? And how horrible is this? But the problem is more serious than you think. This is not just a problem of our school, it is a worldwide, global problem. The International Dark Sky Association in Tucson, Arizona, an environmental group, estimates that 1/3 of all lighting in the US is wasted at an annual cost of $2 billion. If you feel the urgentness of this problem, then here's the good news for you. We have a solution for this problem. A sustainable solution, even implementable in our school. This solution is in light of renewable and clean energy. But before we dive into how we can integrate this idea of renewable and clean energy into our school's energy system, we need to know what renewable energy and clean energy mean. Renewable energy refers to energy that is collected from renewable resources, which are naturally replenished on a human timescale, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, and geothermal heat. Renewable energy often offers energy in 4 important areas, one of which is electricity generation. Clean energy is very similar, and it refers to the energy derived from renewable, zero-emission sources that do not produce greenhouse gases or any other pollutants, as well as energy saved through energy efficiency measures. Using these kinds of energy serve as the core bridge of the solution for our school, and these are very important and beneficial since renewable energy would not let humans to deplete the sources, but at the same time exploit light as much as we want. No harm to the environment, hence no harm to ourselves. My name is Isabella Yu, a junior at Concordia International School, Shanghai. This podcast will take you through my journey on the quest for more knowledge about renewable, clean energy and the solution I found for the problem of energy waste at Concordia. So I talked with Mr. Klammer, the physics teacher at Concordia, and our main question was, how can we most effectively enhance our school's use of clean, renewable energy and/or improve our overall energy efficiency? After talking with him, I found some really interesting points to share. Let me invite you to this amazing conversation. Hello!
Hello.
So I'm Isabella Yu from the class called AL Global Development Studies, and today I'm here to interview Mr. Klammer. So firstly, I asked him what our school's energy system is and how it works.
Okay, so the school systems, everything's run by electricity, so we don't generate any pollution on our own. But probably the biggest piece of ours is the geothermal system. So there's 900 tubes underneath the soccer field that go down each about 100 meters. And they're heat exchangers, so we can actually extract heat out of the ground during the winter time. to actually help heat the building. So it reduces our energy costs a little bit. And during the summer, we actually pump heat down underneath the soccer field into the groundwater, just so we can use a little bit less electricity as well. I know, it's amazing.
Yeah. But how long has been Concordia implementing the
thermal plant?
Yeah.
It was installed, good grief, over 10 years ago, which means it's nearing the end of its lifetime already. The plastic tubes and things have a limited lifetime. It's probably leaking quite a bit at this point. But there's many, I forget, I could look up the details, but hundreds of kilometers of tubing underneath that soccer field.
After hearing him talking about our school's energy system in general, I further asked him how we can fix our school's current energy system so that it promotes clean and renewable energy. Let's hear him talk about it.
All right. So there's a couple of things we've done. There's a wind turbine up in the top of the high school building. It generates about 3,000 watts when it's operating. And that's enough to run one hallway worth of lights, which is not a lot. The original design for the high school had solar panels on the rooftop, which would have actually helped augment our electricity use and also have kept the building cooler during the summertime because it would have shaded the rooftops. I mean, we've got our green rooftops on parts of the building, but not all the building. For example, the high school classrooms don't have anything on top of the green roofs, just the gym and the library. So those help quite a bit because they keep us a lot cooler during the summer because the plants absorb quite a bit of and keeps us a little bit warmer during the summer. But things we could do to improve, we could definitely put green roofs on the other portions. We could think about putting in the solar panels again. The time the school was like, we weren't sure if they were going to last long enough to be worthwhile or if they would just generate more scrap. The other thing is we could do, the biggest thing that uses energy or electricity for the school is the heating and cooling and the lighting. Lighting, this building was designed that almost every single classroom has outdoor windows for natural lighting. We could actually get by quite a bit with turning off most of the lights in the rooms and in the hallways. Particularly in the hallways when they're on all day, when the sun's shining, it's horrible. And the other thing is with the heating and air conditioning, if we would maintain things a little bit better. The one unfortunate part about this building is it was built vertically. And so during the summer, the heat goes up the stairwells, and so the 5th and 6th floor get very hot, and the bottom floors get very cold. But we keep running the air conditioning full time, trying to cool up the 5th and 6th floors. And the same thing happens in reverse in the wintertime. Then the heat goes up. These top floors are warm, but the bottom floors are freezing, and so we have to run the heat full time. So we can figure out how to circulate the air within the building. We could definitely improve things, or if we have to close the doors on the stairwells or something, it would probably reduce our heating cooling consumption rate, at least in the high school, by probably 25 to 30%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in terms of the amount of energy that Concordia wastes, that is a huge piece.
That's true. Now that we talked about Concordia's energy system and some improvements we can implement, we talked about how and why energy efficiency is important. Like, why should we promote energy efficiency at all?
Yeah, that's a good question. The amount of energy, so a standard household in most countries, Korea, Japan, US, uses about 1,000 watts on average the whole day. Concordia uses as much, the entire campus, uses as much as about 500 homes. And that's absolutely absurd in terms of the size and the number of students.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And so just because of that fact, I feel very guilty that we're not better stewards of the energy we're using. It's just a ridiculous number. We could definitely do better. We are not as good. The idea that we could be so much better stewards of it, not only for ourselves, but for the rest of the world. If we use less energy, that means we're burning less coal, using less fossil fuels. It's better for everybody. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, how ridiculous. Just thinking about it makes me get goosebumps. Then how efficient is our own Concordia's energy system? Let's explore what he has to talk about it.
we're good with the natural lighting. If we were better about turning off the lights when we were using them, or putting in automatic systems that turned them off in the hallways during the daytime when the sun's shining in, that would be wonderful. Or just have people turning them off when the sun's shining in. The lighting would be much, much better. Or like in classrooms like this one we're sitting in, we got plenty of natural light. I could definitely turn off like the back 3 rows and still be absolutely fine. The heating and cooling, as I told you, we're horrible at. For example, right now, on the 1st and 2nd floor, they're freezing. And up in the 5th and 6th floors right now, I see windows open because it's too warm up here.
On top of what Mr. Clammer just offered, he also had further thoughts on what type of clean renewable energy would be the most ideal, effective, and efficient for Concordia and the reason behind it.
So I think solar panels would probably be the best choice for Concordia right now. Why? Our air conditioning bill is much larger than our heating bill. So if we put solar panels up on our rooftops, especially the rooftops that don't have a green roof, like the whole Phoenix Common is just one huge big rooftop. It would shield it from the direct sun, and we could use it to produce 80 kilowatts, which it's like 80 homes worth of power. Which would be enough to at least power all of the Phoenix Center, or that area, not including the air conditioning, and perhaps some of the other parts, like Rittman. So it's a big idea. It would reduce our air conditioning costs because it would shade the rooftop. So yeah, we could actually do some amazing things there. The other advantage with solar power is on weekends when we don't have lights going, the China National Grid allows us to pump energy back into the grid if we're using solar panels. So if we weren't using it all, we could actually help power homes and things outside of Concordia. I'd say wind power, but unfortunately China Grid only lets you use wind power within the building. And so it would be wasted on weekends. So solar panels are probably the best choice.
After talking about this, he talked about how we can help more people at Concordia to be aware of renewable, sustainable energy and to be passionate about it. In other words, he talked about how we can include more people to promote and use sustainable and renewable energy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just are unaware how much energy we use. I always think about we should just put like energy usage little displays in the hallways, just saying, hey, these lights that are on right now are using blank number of watts. Where you could actually see a real-time display, just to get people like, oh wait, we don't need these on, we could turn these off. Or even just to have a big display downstairs when you enter, like currently the building is using this number of watts for air conditioning, for cooling, and see it go real time. People are going, and then have the display saying this is equivalent to burning, this number of kilograms of coal per minute, and they'd be like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. That we would actually get them to start thinking about it. There's ways we could do that.
In addition to this, he went on to talk about the kinds of values, skills, or forms of knowledge Concordians need in order to implement new energy system into our school.
So for our students, just to recognize how much energy we use and how much we waste. And then for our staff, I don't think they realize how much we waste as well. For example, the bathroom lights are on every floor, every night, all night. I don't know why we do that. And stairwell lights are on all night. Now that may be understand in case somebody needs to use the stairs so they won't trip or fall, but the bathroom lights, I don't know. So maybe just educating our staff, just saying we don't really need to have the bathroom lights on in every single bathroom all night long would probably be a wise step. And I guess, like I said, for students, I think just recognizing, oh my goodness, we are using an absurd amount of energy.
And trying to be like global citizens.
Still wasting energy. Just, it's horrible.
Okay. Now that we talked about energy and energy systems in general, as well as at Concordia, we turn to the personal story of Mr. Clammer. Here he offers his own story. Let's hear him say.
So I'm all about saving energy, saving the world, saving the planet, trying to prevent burning of fossil fuels. So personally, things that I do, for example, at home, even during the summertime, I set the temperature in my apartment to 25 degrees Celsius, which is warm for most people, but I'm like, all right, I'm just going to wear t-shirts and shorts around the house and have a fan blowing on me at night, knowing that air conditioning costs is one of the biggest energy usages here in Shanghai. I actually have solar panels out in my apartment to actually
Oh.
run things, believe it or not.
Oh.
And there's actually one over in this classroom over there behind there, right there. And there's solar panels up on the rooftop here that our students made. I should actually to help. And that goes into the school grid over there. You can't quite see the numbers, but it produces about 1,000 watts. So if we could get more people to do that, I think that'd be great. But yeah, personally, that's all me.
Lastly, he talked about why and how saving energy matters to him personally. Let's hear him say.
Yeah, the idea of the greenhouse gases and the fact that we're adding so many so rapidly. That global warming is not a good thing, and it's not something we want to pass on to future generations. And so it's something we've got to take care of now.
A huge thank you to Mr. Klammer, who kindly responded to the interview and helped me and you understand much more about renewable energy that we can implement into our school system, and also about his own story. After the interview, I conducted some more research. Besides the solutions Mr. Klammer provided us with, here is what I found. Just simply turning off the lights when leaving a room can help you save energy as well as money. That's one shot, 2 kills. We can calculate how much power you can save for each light bulb you switch off per hour. Suppose you have 1 light bulb in your room, and suppose that the bulb is 60-watt bulb. According to sciencing.com, if you turn it off as you leave the room and come back 1 hour later, then you can save about 0.06 kilowatt hours. How amazing and unbelievable. Can you actually believe that you can save that much by just simply turning off the light? So in this podcast, I focused on the Sustainable Development Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. Specifically, I focused on Target 7.2, which is to increase global percentage of renewable energy, and by 2030 to increase substantially the share of renewable energy in the global energy mix. After talking to Mr. Klammer, I gained hope that our school could contribute to this great movement towards sustainable development around the globe. Yes, this is definitely a time of crisis. Of course, we all made that happen. But we all can make something different happen too. When you become aware of how much energy you waste when you leave your room for dinner, of the light left on when you leave your house, and of the ceiling lights as we walk down the hallway, then hopefully you and I and everyone else will be able to save our world. Invest just a second of your life to turn off the lights that we don't use, and you're the next hero of our world. Educate yourself and those around you. Call them to action. Use what you already know to reach the first step towards being the considerate and thoughtful global citizen. Become the next hero of our world. Save the world.